Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. I had a double cat invasion for a second. He scared the other one away, and I was waiting for the guy with a weed whacker to leave the front, so we don't have weed whacker noises on the stream. But anyway, greetings everybody. Greetings. We were going to start by looking at the Peppermint 10 release. See, can you guys hear the weed whacker out there? I don't know if you can or not. I was kind of waiting for him to leave. I don't know why he's showing up on Saturdays now. He always shows up at the most inconvenient of times. Oh boy, now he's like weed whacking right outside my window. That's really exciting. Alright, anyway, greetings everybody. How are you guys doing? Loopy, hello. Gary Truman, Gary Trumpman. I'm sorry, Gary Truman. Yeah, greetings. Elijah Brooks, hello there. Mr. Bentley, love your car. Alright. Yes, we will get to calculate when I get a chance to get to calculate. It is super low priority for me. Temple OS? I don't know. I'll have to look into that one. Let's see. Hello, Jordan B. Coin up. Hello there. Elijah Brooks, greetings. First time catching your live stream. Excited for it. Well, thank you, Elijah. And welcome. Let's see. It isn't that bad. What isn't that bad? Okay, someone whacking themselves outside your place with the by the sounds. Yep. Barely hear it. All right. Yeah, that's good. I closed out all the windows and stuff. I wanted to have them open because it's getting really nice. All right. Let's see. Bruce Scott. Hello, Mr. India. How's it going out that way? Thomas Holt. Greetings to you. Realm Chat. Hello there. Another like for Temple. Isn't Temple OS the guy that killed himself not long ago? Am I remembering that correctly? I know. Ian from Debian did, but wasn't the Temple OS guy as well? Sounds like someone flying an RC plane. Yeah, it's an RC plane attached to a weed whacker, or either a weed whacker or a leaf blower. I don't know which. Hey, as long as I don't have to maintain the lawn out there, hey, I'm happy or whatever. Other things to do. All right, so is it good enough that we can jump into the video and record it? All right. Hello, Babuntu. Greetings there. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take another couple sips of coffee, and then we'll go ahead and start the video there. Yeah, I think I'm running LTS on Arch. Let me see what I'm running on Arch right now. So I ran the installer for Arch Labs. Really? The installer for Arch Labs does not like, I don't know, I can't find it. Does not like the latest kernel, so you need to install it with the LTS. So I think I'm running the LTS as well. I don't know, I'd have to double check. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on in with Peppermint. Second. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today we're going to have a look at Peppermint OS 10 that was just released. Hold on a second. We're going to restart that when the guy with the weed whacker leaves. Like, as soon as I get ready to go, he just... I need to talk to these lawn care guys. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, we are going to look at the Peppermint 10 release today, just having a quick look. Now, some people that have already looked at it have indicated that there's really not a lot of changes, and what there's not really a lot of is changes that you see, but there's actually a great number of things under the hood that we can spot within the release notes. So, of course, you can get to their website at peppermintos.com. This is actually one of the great things about Peppermint is they still support the 32-bit and the 64-bit, and unless they've changed something, you should be able to go into the shop and actually, maybe they don't have it. Oh yeah, the Peppermint USB stick. So if you do not have the ability to download and prepare your own ISO, you can actually order one from them that's verified. So it says that the sticks are still coming just because this release is brand new, so they just don't have the release sticks out yet. So you can come over here and see what Peppermint is. It's basically this amalgam of several elements from Cinnamon, several elements from XFCE, and I think it's LXDE as well. Although they're kind of phasing some of those LXDE items out, as I remember. Some versions have had Thunar, I believe. But actually the one I have, which is 7, and the current one, which is 10, all runs Nemo. So I think somewhere around the line they used Thunar for a version or two. But Nemo is going to be your file manager, which is great. That is my favorite file manager. And then they did some other adjustments. So if you actually look at the release notes, this is where you'll spot the things that are a little bit different. So ultimately, they used a different kernel path, which will eventually upgrade to the 5X kernel branch. So if you are looking for needing the latest kernel, this one will actually upgrade to the latest kernel automatically as soon as that is ready. They've also have NVIDIA graphics card drivers installed if you select the option to install third-party drivers and software. So if you're running NVIDIA, you might have a better experience as it's going to install those now automatically, which is a new feature. So the other thing that they did is they have now isolated SSBs in Chromium, Chrome, and Vivaldi. Firefox has always been isolated. And there's some new settings for the font GUI. Everything else is mostly just basic app upgrades and things like that. So what we're going to do now is let's go ahead and have a look at the OS itself. Okay, so here we are in the OS, and I kind of recall this wallpaper being very similar to what it was. So if we come on over here, let's an about system. Let me see if there's just a system. Make sure I actually installed the right version. Can't seem to find it. Anyway, I did install it from our from the new ISO. See here with HTOP, it's only running on 3.500 megabytes, 347 megabytes. So that is good. So everything else that you're going to notice out of the box is pretty much the same. And that's why people said there's not a lot of changes. Now, if you are new to Peppermint, we're just going to go over some basic items on this system. They did not do one of the things that I've asked them to do. I'm so sad about it. I know they were talking about it. So what my big issue is I like to see your home, your network, your documents, things like that on the desktop. So desktop icons do work out of the box. So you can right click on the desktop. You can add things, open as root, whatever. But to get your desktop icons, what you need to do is go into your Peppermint settings, go into tweaks, and you actually have to manage your deconf editor. And this is something they have so many amazing settings. I would just love if they put a little application to toggle on or off your desktop icons. So to actually get to here, you want to load this guy up. You want to go to org, Nemo, desktop, and inside of here, this is where you have your desktop icons. So there's your computer. Here's your home, which is one of them that I like. And if we come down, here is your network, which I like my network icon being there. And there should be a trash as well. There's volumes, which is if you have a USB mounted. So if you need those icons on there, that's how to do it. I would really love it if they put that setting in there, but you know, it just wasn't priority enough for them. Everything else, though, they have a lot of different look and feel. So just differences inside of your desktop settings here. So there's just a lot of settings and controls. Your various tweaks, we can reset everything. So if you do something goofy, you can go ahead and reset it back to normal. Here's your hardware. We have additional drivers if you're having issues with a Wi-Fi card or anything else. Loading up this additional drivers is going to search for drivers. This is, of course, the software and updater tool from Ubuntu. So we can see here we have a VirtualBox driver that it says we could use, which we're not going to bother with that right now, but that's where it would be if you had some proprietary software inside of there. Inside of your network, I'm not sure why SSBs are inside of that. So this is actually an A application. Let's look at the SSB application. So this is actually an ICE application. So ICE is really one of those standing features of Peppermint. You can install this on other systems, but originally, if you go back to the philosophy of Peppermint, the idea behind Peppermint was a Linux kind of like a Linux version of a Chromebook, which is like a net-powered item. This is why if you come in here, even though I've installed the full setting and you go down to Office, you'll see Microsoft Excel, Microsoft OneNote, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word. You see the Gmail, the Google Calendar. These are all ICE applications. So if you boot one of these guys up, what it's going to do is it's going to open up an ICE application, which is an isolated it's an isolated version of a web browser that you pick. The default is Firefox. You can pick Chrome, Chromium, or Vivaldi as well. It's going to boot you right onto the online place where if you were to have a Microsoft Office account where you could log in here and do documents online, this is what it is. The reason for this is because Peppermint in its original philosophy was an answer to Chromebooks, which that's exactly the way Chromebooks ran. However, it is a full-featured system, so it's infinitely better. So you can actually come over here and you can remove all these guys. So there's an online user guide. So if we want, we can just go ahead and remove some of these. So a lot of these games that they have installed are actually all online games. I'm just going to go ahead and remove all of the stuff from the evil corporations. So the Microsoft and the Googliness, we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's see, did I get them all? Oh. I got Microsoft Excel. So you can just go in here to the list and just remove them. All right, so now if I come down here under my Office, well, Office has disappeared because I've gotten rid of everything that is Office. All right, so we can actually create one. So I'll just go ahead and do a, actually, we're just going to call this one Switched to Linux. And then a web address. Let's go to your web address. So let's type in my switch to Linux there. And then where do you want this in the menu? We'll go ahead and put it under Internet, and then we can select an icon or use the site favicon. So I'll go ahead and do this. Now we can create it with an isolated browser profile. Now what this means is that an isolated browser profile, it keeps this profile separate from everything else. So if you wanted to log into a banking system and keep the banking cookies all isolated from the rest of the system, you could do this, and it's going to isolate those cookies out so that Google can't see what bank you're doing business with. So we're not going to bother with that right now. We'll just go ahead and hit apply. You need to give it a second. It'll finish out. So now under my Internet, you'll see that I have this Switch to Linux option inside my menu. And if you load this guy up, it's simply going to go right to Switch to Linux page. So you can create those different icons for any of your favorite things, any online applications, like I said, banking applications. In fact, man, I might actually go ahead and switch my banking computer to this because it's actually getting old and I need to redo it soon anyway, and I hate Ubuntu. The version I have, the new Ubuntu, is really good. The version I have is real bad. But anyway, those are ICE applications. So you can add or remove them here, so now that will appear in my list. The other cool thing Peppermint has out of the box is they have an ad blocker, so you can see the advert blocker. What this is actually going to do is, you have to enter your password first. What this is actually going to do is it's going to edit your hosts file. So before we actually do this, I'm going to go ahead and boot up a terminal, and let's see if I can make this terminal bigger. Let's do sudo nano etc hosts. All right, so here's what my host file currently looks like. So there's nothing in it outside of your basics. So what this guy is actually going to do is it goes online to the different sources. So Unblock, yoga.org. So these are just 3 different services. And it's going to add all these things into your host file, which is going to be a very good ad blocking system. So now let's go ahead and say, well, actually, let's cancel just in case it's still doing something. I don't think it is, but let's do that one more time. Yes. And so now what you'll see is now our host file is full of these different things. So it's basically going to go through there, and anytime there's an update to that system, it's going to go ahead and update your host file. So that is what your that is what your ad blocker is going to do. It works the same way as the ad blocker, like the ad blocker host file system that I have on mine. So that is some of the features. One of the settings that they have tweaked and fixed is we have our font DPI settings. I know a lot of people ask about these. So we can go ahead and adjust our font DPI settings like this. Maybe I should have done that earlier so we could have all seen a little bit better. But anyway, that is what we have. We have the flexibility of several of the cinnamon features. So we have our Mint Update Manager. We have, I don't think our software, let's see what software manager we have. I don't remember which software manager we've ever had. I thought sometimes they were pulling it from the Linux Mint one. So yeah, this is actually the new Linux Mint software manager. So I guess they're supporting Flatpaks out of the box. We also have everything else involved in the Linux Mint world in that respect. But we also have Synaptic Package Manager for those that want to use Synaptic. So there's a variety of tools, be it the very basic user level, the more moderate user level, or of course the advanced just user terminal inside of your platform there. So everything else, now again, I installed the full version. There's a minimal install, which doesn't actually reduce a lot of things. You'll see that this has a lot of the system tools that I really like, which makes it a very good option for anybody needing a complete and full system setup. So that is Peppermint in a nutshell. So has it really changed? I think a lot of the changes you are going to see are changes that are all under the hood. But they're all under the hood changes that are very beneficial. You know, getting that Linux kernel 5 is good for a lot of people, particularly on newer hardware. So this is, in my opinion, is going to support a wider range of newer hardware. But we don't see a whole lot of changes in the user interface. Now, if you currently are running Peppermint, should you take the time to upgrade? Only if there's something giving you a problem on your current system. I personally, on my writing computer, I still use Peppermint 7. It gives me absolutely zero problems. It works perfectly well. I'm not going to shake the boat by installing anything else. Everything on that works perfectly fine. If you're running it, you love Peppermint, and you're in a situation where you really want to, you have something that's not working right, it's definitely worth the upgrade. If you're installing a new computer, definitely go with the Cinnamon 10 release. It is a very good system. So let me know what you think. Do you use Peppermint? What's your favorite part, least favorite part about it? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. All right, let's head on back over to comments, and we'll get ready for our next story. Okay. Got hit by a train? Down the rabbit hole video on Temple OS and its history. Oh, okay. 5 isn't LTS yet? I don't think so, but I don't know. Hello, Start the Rebellion. Are you here to start the rebellion? Weed Whacker had to do that right at the most inconvenient moment. Insult injury. Yep. Okay. Bought a Crown Victoria for my computer security, Temple OS style. Crown Victoria? I mean, I used to have a Crown Victoria. It was my car, though. What is a Crown Victoria in terms of computer security? LTS distro has nothing to do with LTS kernel. Yep. He's doing it on purpose. He must be. Take 10. Yep. Okay. Weed Whacker, you're not getting a cameo this time. That's right. No cameo for the Weed Whacker. The best distro for web development / hosting. Well, if you're talking about hosting a website, I would do something like a CentOS, a Debian, Ubuntu server are really good. They're kind of very, very long-term supporty. As far as development, I mean, I use Cinnamon to develop. Okay, they should do that with Elementary OS. Downloaded and installed using torrent. Some ISPs block torrents. Yep. Yeah, I did mine on a torrent as well. 5 is scheduled to hit Ubuntu 18.04 in August. So I guess in August, that Peppermint is based on 18.04, so I guess in August is when you'll see it. AT&T doesn't seem to block anything except 4chan that one time, and it lied claiming they didn't. Yeah. Watching this on Peppermint 10, very cool, very cool. Yeah, check out that link from Farron there on the schedule for the HWE stack kernels. Willing to make a few bucks for me, put an ISO of elementary OS in Linux. What? Put an ISO of elementary OS Linux for me. What do you mean, Crowman? Put an ISO of elementary OS Linux for me. I guess burn one, make a USB stick. If you're in the United States, I might be able to pull that off for you. Okay, can now get 5 now in Ubuntu. Peppermint patties are the best form of peppermint. Sorry, Tux. Yeah, you know, I might be with agreement with you. I don't know. Elementary ISO onto a USB stick. Okay, yep. That's what I was thinking you were trying to ask. Ask again for the respin. Yeah, I'll ask again. They always watch the videos, so they'll see it again. It's still easy enough to put the desktop icons on there, just not for a beginning user. And a lot of beginning users will want to be switching to it, and they'll be like, really want my home icon on there. You can do it, and they have information on their forums about how to do it too. So the information is out there. Verified art color variations, though. We'll need more of ARC theme using distributions. Yep. Hello, Indonesia. Greetings to you. Late wasn't watching time. Oh, that's fine, dude. Things to do. All right. B is probably a network because network and internet are usually connected. Okay, I feel you. I understand. All right. Try Peppermint. Which package manager does the distro use? It's an apt system. It's based on Ubuntu, so it's going to be using apt. Yeah, Caveman, if you're in the United States, shoot me an email and we'll talk. If you're in the United States, I can afford to ship you out a USB stick for elementary. If you're not, yeah, find somebody in your country. Shipping anything out of the United States, I needed to ship a book. And it costs like $25 just to ship a 10-ounce book. Crazy. Okay. Learning is not always getting it right, but getting things wrong as well. Yes. You learn best when you break something and have to fix it. Decent open source hardware accelerated multi-threaded video editor. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Talk about the Mozilla add-on disaster when it happened. Yes, I did. Isn't KDE multi-thread now? I think experimentally it can do multi-threading. There was a setting in there, and last time I looked for it, I couldn't find it. It might still be there, but it was an experimental, so it would kind of crash the system if you were trying to edit the video. But once the video was edited, you could toggle it on and process. Use Blender with multi-thread script. You have a multi-thread script for Blender? I might need that. Like I'm doing my next book is the book cover is done in Blender, and it actually takes 2 hours for my system to render the cover. Mind you, this is a pretty beefy computer system. So it just has to do with the fact of the high DPI quality you have to have for a book cover, but it takes 2 hours to render it. It's insane. What financial software do you use? I use GNU Cache, which maintains my business books for my content creation business. I should do a video on all that. I was kind of using it more generically before, but when I incorporated everything into my LLC, I actually went back through and rebuilt the entire system as as it does things just as good as QuickBook does for my other business. It doesn't have the pretty graphs and stuff as much. That's what I would love to see more of, but it does a very good job though. It really does work. So look into GNU Cache. Needs a little bit more technical tax knowledge to get it set up than QuickBooks does, but it is still very good. The Crown Victoria keeps the CIA away.
I thought that was the Cadillac that keeps the CIA away. Where's Toss? Is Toss here with his caddy?
All right. Check one of those malicious Ubuntu packages is installed in Peppermint by default. Not right now. Leave it in the comments and I'll think if I can have a chance to look into it. Popcorn, I don't know if it does or not. Has grounded to a halt. Yeah, earlier today it was not working well for me either. Do you think of the VPN on Opera? I would not trust anything on Opera. They were bought by a Chinese company. They do weird browser injection scripts. I wouldn't trust that browser at all at this point. You can't beat blowing your own trumpet at Mark Reeves. What? There, I blew my own trumpet. .com might actually have been overloaded. Yeah, it might. Someone's willing to put Elementary OS ISO on a USB stick for me and I'll send you a few bucks. Yes, Crowman. If you are in the United States, yes, I will do that for you. Shoot me an email. Tried the new Linux subsystem for Windows 10 yet? No. I don't have Windows, I have Windows 10 on a virtual machine. Me? Windows? What? All right. I put Linux Mint onto my Acer Aspire. A few years back, it ran awesome, then stopped taking updates. Yeah, Acer actually do not work well with a lot of Linux distros. I actually had an issue. A friend of mine has an Acer. We actually tried, I think, a few different distros before finally putting Linux Mint on. It worked perfectly fine. We were actually trying for Ubuntu Studio because he does a lot of media arts. So we wanted to do Ubuntu Studio, but it just was not taking it. So not sure if Elementary will work either, but we can give it a try. Tried Pop OS. Just briefly. I did a review of it a while back, but I haven't tried it lately. Okay. I learn best when someone else breaks something. See their failure before I start. There you go. Switch my comments to dark theme. I do dark theme for my other videos. I mean, I can do that if y'all want. Let me... There you go. There's your dark theme comments. It does look nicer, doesn't it? All right. Always goes nuts release time. Looking into different backend for redistributing the ISO so it doesn't affect the website. We use Firefox. Aside guess. I will have to see your comment first, hopefully. Well, I like that Farron OS has the browser chooser, so you choose the browser you want. I like that option. That's a good option, Farron. Don't ever get rid of that. Version of Linux for different purposes. That's a good question. So my main production computers are running Cinnamon. So that is my Dell Inspiron laptop and this video production computer. The other computer that I have for writing runs Peppermint because it is a very small form factor Lenovo S21E with a dual processor, dual core processor and only 2 gigs of soldered RAM. So I can't upgrade it. You don't want to try and run Cinnamon on 2 gigs of RAM. So that one runs Peppermint because it runs absolutely flawlessly with that setup. The other computer that I have it actually rotates distros. So I get a chance to test and experiment with different distributions. Although I've been on Arch for about 2 months now, I really want to get rid of it. I did look at everything over, Serge. I'm not going to put Calculate on that computer simply because the way and how it is, I will have to pull the entire system out, pull all the drives, install directly on that. It's way too much overhead. So I will be doing a Calculate test on this computer because I have an icy dock for that very purpose. So I don't have to mess around with moving computers and wires and all that other stuff a lot just to pull that test off. So that's really the reason why I do. It just has to do with system requirements. Live video editor. Okay. Start your own channel. That's right. All right. Let's see. Blender multi-thread script only works for video editing. Can GNU cache data be easily imported into QuickBooks for accountants to use? I don't think so. I've never tried to convert it into QuickBooks. I've tried to take QuickBooks out into GNU Cache. The fact is, though, is that my accountant doesn't have any problem because I have a good accountant. So basically all your accountant really needs, if you set up your taxes right, if you set up your books right, all your accountant needs is your P&L. So export your P&L and make sure your books are put together right. That is, my accountant doesn't have a problem with that because I have an accountant that just needs that P&L. If he has questions, he can ask. So I've never tried, though. It might be able to. I know QuickBooks doesn't export into GNU Cache, but it's possible GNU Cache could import into QuickBooks. Never tested it, never thought about it, so I don't know. Send me an email. Let me see if I got it. Yes, I got the email. So I will get back to you soon. If you are, let's see what your email is. If you are on, okay, I should not have a problem getting that email out to you, but I'll send you an email shortly after the stream here. Blender multi-thread script only works for video editing. Windows 10 VM must be blasphemy. No, it's unfortunately that I have clients that sometimes need me to look into things on Windows 10. There's some goofy things that Windows 10 does with HTML rendering. Like there's things that Windows 10 Chrome renders differently than anything else Chrome. Can't explain it. Actually, I found Mac to do the same thing this week. These clients were like, this form button isn't showing up. Let me get showing up for us. Finally booted into a Mac. Looked at it in Chrome on a Mac. Huh? I don't know. Using Chromium due to its relation to Chrome. Your fear is warranted. Possibly, yes. Now, there is actually a de-Googlified Chrome out there. You can ungoogled Chromium. There you go. Yeah. So, what Farron said. Look into that one. Chris Titus installed KDE on Pop! OS. Why am I not surprised? He loves KDE. Actually, I love KDE too. Occasionally I find it a little buggy in some implementations. That's why I really want to test it out with on Calculate. I think Calculate might give me the best KDE experience. So I really do want to test that out. The biggest challenges I've had is bouncing back and forth on Kodi. When I'm watching something on Kodi and then switch back to my main OS, KDE often crashes. From Firefox to Pale Moon. All right, whenever you get a chance, you should really look into Pop! OS again. I've heard it's really good at this point, so I definitely should look into it soon. We expect a lies from you on Peppermint 10 at sudo reboot. Okay. Sudo reboot, are you here? Oh, hello, sudo reboot. I didn't see you. Greetings. Consider writing a book on Linux for business, covering all the open source options that would replace those that are proprietary. That would be interesting. I think the problem, though, with doing a book in that respect is the technology moves so fast. It'd probably just be better to do short video series and just update them as needed. I'll be honest, though, whenever I do videos about things like that, I don't get a lot of positive response from the videos. But maybe I need to do some on GNU Cache and things like that. I could actually do it as an ebook, might work, because an ebook is easy to update. But a print book, I don't know so much. Okay. Why does your mic think it's an M40 grenade? My mic? Does my mic think it's a grenade? Yes, I'm still on. We are about to jump into our second part. Into Linux from Windows 7. Ooh, nice. Yes, KDE is a mess. I don't know, I love KDE. It's just occasionally it freezes on me up here and there. GNU Cache and Homebank would work for a short video. Yeah, I really should do one on GNU Cache. I really should. Programs are using for chats. What chats? I have a podcast on my Christian stuff, but not on this one. So you can get information at ourwalkinchrist.com. So my podcasts are Christian related. I have not looked at Homebank. I should look into that. What program am I using for chats? Well, the chat feature right here is just Google Chat. I just have a modified CSS script for it. Thank you, Paul, for that super chat. Always appreciate that, my friend. And actually, with that, we will use that as our breaking point to jump into our second topic for the day. Yes, we have a second topic. I just need to reset my banner. And banners, and where are you? Why not upgrade smartphones? All right. Oh, wrong button. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today we want to ask a simple question. Why are you not upgrading your smartphones? So this has been a trend lately where a lot of people are not upgrading their smartphones. I mean, these companies have gotten so used to making us sheeple that every time they push an update to their device, you run out and buy the latest. I mean, remember those times when Apple was in that heyday? You know, Apple 4 comes out and everyone goes in lines and they sell their perfectly good iPhone that works perfectly fine and they buy the latest one. And then a few months later, they do it again. We run in, we buy that, we run in, we buy the next one, the next one, and Apple's just gotten so used to this, and they looked at this like iPhone 10 comes out, and we went, because it's like $1,000 for a phone that doesn't seem to do a lot. I mean, sure, they put some different stuff, I don't know. And people start looking at this going, maybe not. And so it kind of caused the sales to drop. And Samsung is seeing some of the same things. And so it asks this question, why are people not upgrading their smartphones? So The Verge actually did an article on this. And I thought part of, like, the analysis in the article is actually very good. But I just have to call them out for being like little children. Yes, this has to do with China. The big bad boogeyman named China, I guess, is responsible for everything. Well, everything the Russians aren't, I guess. It's insanity. But really what's going on? China doesn't have anything to do with this. So basically last month, Verizon, AT&T basically said that owners are upgrading a lot less than they used to. If you guys also remember, we covered it on the news, how Apple is, they stopped reporting the cell phone sales because it's getting so low. It's kind of hurting some of the shareholders. And so what they're ended up doing is instead of focusing on hardware sales, which has been the core of their business model, they're shifting to more services, renewable subscription fees, things like that, so they can counteract this. And so what's happened is Americans, and this is an American-focused model, is they're saying that there's three primary reasons people aren't upgrading their phones. And I look at this like I'm looking at the entire smartphone world. And I'm going, if there's not a viable Linux phone the next time I need a phone, I'm just going to go back to a flip phone. I will. Because the phone market is getting so crazy. We have predatory data collection on the lower income where you can go to Walmart and buy a smartphone for $30-$40. And it's crap, but it does the task of smartphoniness. The problem is those things are so locked down and have so many, like those things have 3 separate Facebook applications pre-installed. Now you can go in and disable them. You can't completely uninstall them. You of course can't open up the bootloader. You can't install a custom ROM on these little phones. So your higher end phones, most of them are now getting locked down. Of course, Apple and Samsung have taken over the market as the domineering guys, and Samsung are making it a little bit harder at times to unlock their bootloaders. Some of them unlock, some of them don't. Some of them you can install custom ROMs, some of them you can't. Apple, of course, they're always anti-jailbreaking. And so we have the situation where, from the perspective of the people probably watching this, where you want a little bit more security, you want a little bit more privacy, you don't want these companies completely on everything that you're doing, you would need to take the custom phone, the stock phone, wipe it out, install a custom ROM on it, and use your phone. And that's what I have with mine. And I absolutely love this phone that runs Lineage. And with Lineage on this, I have everything on here as open source applications. Everything works just fine. No Google connections. My basic internet and a lot of my basic services run through the Tor network. So I feel confident enough that my phone has enough security and privacy that I feel confident that what I'm doing isn't being as thoroughly tracked as it could be if it were a stock device. So with that being said, if I go into, when this phone dies and I go in to get another phone, if I can't get one that I can unlock, that I can install Lineage, that everything's going to work fine out of the box, then I don't really want to upgrade. But there's other factors as well. There's these things on phones that are called headphone jacks. Well, I mean, it was apparently a legacy option. More and more phones are getting rid of those, and I use it all the time. I'm not getting Bluetooth headphones. I'm sorry. I have piles of headphones that work just fine, and I want to continue to work those just fine. All right. So with that being said, the other factors, I don't want ugly notches. I don't know. I might have to eventually get one, but I don't know. I would kind of prefer expandable SD card slots, although this one doesn't have one. And I'd prefer things that don't have the ability to scan your face when you're looking at it. These are some of these things that I look at instead of us. Now, what do the sheeple look into? Probably none of those items at all. They're just like, they want the amazing phones of nothing. So, that being said, the analysis in this article, which had nothing to do with China at all, I don't even know why they put that in their subtitle, but the analysis was actually good, surprising. I was shocked. I know, I was shocked. So the first reason people are saying is the Apple and Samsung duopoly. This has to do with China how? Oh, it doesn't? Oh, an American company and a South Korean company are not catching up with Huawei? I mean, really? Really? Thank you for that super chat. I will get to that question when I'm done with this video clip, so stick around. So basically what they're saying is this guy says, what's the top phone that he would say? Well, it's the Huawei phone. There's the OnePlus phone. To my understanding, I think OnePlus only works on T-Mobile. Is that correct? So AT&T and Verizon aren't getting those. It might actually work on the other ones. It's just, I think this is you just can't buy it from that system. All right, so the typical smartphone user, most people are on AT&T or Verizon. You also have T-Mobile and Sprint taking on some of the market as well. These guys, pretty much, if you walk into one of these two stores, you're going to see a big section of that Samsung, a big section of Apple, and maybe a little bit of other odds and ends. This is why, for me, I don't buy my phones at the store, people. This is a non-issue. Go do your homework like a big boy, like a big girl. Do a little bit of research. Know a little bit about your network. Research what phones are going to work on your network. And buy an unlocked phone that you can pick up. And I always pick them up used. I pick up the used ones for the people that have gotten the first, the first couple of months on the thing, and then they got upgraded to something else because something else came out and they're trying to sell that to recoup a little of their losses. It works just fine, like buying a used car. I paid $100 for this and it works. I love it. All right. And so the second is the Apple and Samsung stagnation. This has to do with China how? Oh, two competing markets aren't catching up with Huawei because they don't care, because they've probably have some back-end collusion keeping Huawei out of the U.S. market. Ooh, where's my hat? It's a conspiracy. All right, so behind being limited to two providers might not be a problem if they were competing, but they're not. It's not, and by the way, it's not that they're not competing. It's that smartphones reach saturation. How much more can you do with a smartphone, really? It's reached its saturation. It's reached the point where it does what it needs to do. It does it well. What more do you want? What more do you want? This is just a natural market to how computing works, a natural market to how commerce works. So, of course, they're somehow blaming China for Apple and Samsung, American and South Korean companies, for not, I don't know. Of course, now they're talking about the disappearing screen bezels. I don't care about disappearing screen bezels. Neither does anybody else I know of. I don't care about thin phones. I care about headphone jacks and it not having a stupid bite taking out of the screen. That's what I care about. So, that's kind of the thing. And then, of course, the next is the new economics of flagships. This, to me, is the biggest reason and very factual. These companies keep on jacking the prices and jacking the prices and jacking the prices. So now these phones that they're trying to get everyone to buy are over $1,000. Here in America, we have our students are leaving college not being able to find a lot of jobs. Most of them are not being able to find sustainable work. In debt up to their eyeballs. The average car payment is over $500 a month. The average credit card balance, I think, is like $20,000, $30,000. I forget what the average credit card balance is. Housing market has just gone crazy. Cost of living is super high, and these companies want us to fork out $1,000 for a phone that this one's better than those flagships, according to me, for $100. I mean, this is why people aren't buying them. They look at the price tag and go, I'm going to look at my other options. More people are now willing to go to Walmart, buy the $30 crap smartphone, pay the $30 a month that it's cheap and easy to use, and actually get away with it, because these phones' prices have been jacked so stinking high. And if you've been on a recent smartphone, they make me want to go hurt myself. These things are so annoying, and I can't turn off half of the, do you want to do this? We're going to click pop-ups left and right and center. Dude, I was on a marketing site for somebody. I'm working on a project with a client right now, and they're like, hey, look into this shopping cart. I landed on a shopping cart. I got not one, not two, but 3 separate pop-ups. It frustrated me because I had to sit on the site and look at it. That annoys the bejeebers out of me. These new smartphones where I can't turn off a lot of these features and they think I want all full-fledged automated AI to do all this jazzy stuff. I don't. Be a simple computer that responds to my input. Allow me to do this or do this. That's all I want. I don't want all this jazzy stuff, because all this jazzy stuff is all the stuff that collects your data, sells it, gets breached, and is used against you down the road. That, in my opinion, is that more people are starting to wake up to this stuff. That, in my opinion, is why some people are not upgrading. That and a $1,000 price tag. So I don't know. That's kind of just my brief thoughts. I'm very different than a lot of other people. Let me know your thoughts. Why are you not upgrading smartphones? Is it the price? Is it the competition? Is it that your phone's lasting longer? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's see. Let me get to that super chat real quick. Thank you for that super chat, by the way. How do you hide your home server behind VPS from your ISP? Well, I mean, okay, I'm trying to think about how I would answer that. How to hide your home server. I mean, really your ISP is only going to see your attempted outgoing connection. So like, I have an Open Media Vault as a server here. Now it doesn't host any websites. It doesn't host my email. I have all of that done off site. So my server, since it doesn't actually do any connections to the outside world, the ISP effectively doesn't know it exists. The only thing your ISP will know it exists is if you're actually allowing communication. So if you are hosting an email platform, if you are hosting a web server, I don't know if it's going to be possible for them to not see it. I don't even think a VPN would help in that case. It might, but I have no idea how I would answer that particular question in terms of hiding a server if it's an email or a web server. I think they're always going to know. Right, kitty? Yeah, I think that anybody else have any thoughts on that? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what we're trying to hide and from what. All right. Let's see. Hello, Anna Rita. Greetings. All right. Answer to why not upgrade smartphones. It's called custom ROMs. There you go. Yep. Didn't upgrade from BlackBerry Z10 because of all the issues with Google. After supporting iPhones for a decade at AT&T, I will never buy an Apple product from anywhere but a yard sale again. Yeah. Stop making that noise. I was counting sheep, then trying to get to sleep, and I lost count. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Galaxy S7 does everything I need. I have seen no reason to upgrade. Plus, it's paid for. Some of us don't have money tree in the back of our garden. Yep, there you go. Also, as most phones were following Apple. Yeah, they followed Apple even when Apple lost its innovation. Like, Apple stopped being innovative. Everyone's like, oh, let's still follow Apple. No, they've been running on momentum. They've actually lost their ever-loving minds. Can't unlock bootloaders from carrier-branded phones. Yep. Wait, humanity kept upgrading phones ASAP? I don't remember us doing that. Here in the United States, man, people would line up at Best Buys pitching tents in the parking lot to get the latest iPhone. No removable battery or memory slots. Forget that, yep. What do you do if a cell phone carrier won't allow dumb phones? Switch my cell phone carrier. Is Android without Google Apps by sideloading FOSS? Yes, that's exactly what I use on mine. The problem is if you have a stock ROM, all those Google connections are still there. And that's kind of problematic. Rather have a phone you can upgrade just like a PC. I think there's a market for that. One company tried to do that. and it didn't work out well for him. Yeah, Librem 5 should be out soon. There's also the Pine phone, which should be out, which is another Linux-based one. Okay, 21 euros, 6G, and no cost for calling SMS. All right. Video on CD ripping burning software. The reason I don't do videos on that is because in the United States, I think most interpretations of the DMCA, ripping a movie is technically illegal. Ripping a CD is not, but ripping a movie is because it's encrypted. KDB came with Mint. Never worked for me. It kept complaining that audio files need to be in a WAV format. For ripping, I use... Ooh, what do I use to rip CDs? Ripper X, I think, is what I use. I use that on my Linux Mint Mate build, which is my backup computer. That's what when I get like audio sermons in and stuff, I actually use... I use a ripper to pull those off. Reposario, it'll burn any audio format, MP3 to mid, OGG to WAV, but it crashes halfway through the burn process if I try to burn more than about 5 MP3s on one CD. I finally tried XF burn, which works well enough, but it's still buggy. CD burning is still one of Linux weaknesses. I've never had any problems with burning CDs. Yeah, I've burnt a lot of them. I mean, Lineage OS in particular. I mean, any type of custom ROM. For phone, I want replaceable battery, an SD card, and a headphone jack. No face scanner, fingerprint scanner. I don't mind if the fingerprint scanner's there because I don't care if I don't use it. I don't care if it's there. But the face scan, I do care if it's there because I don't know what that thing's doing every time I look at the phone. Hello, Ron. Greetings. Hank, how's it going there? Pian, this is so crazy to me. Over here, all our phones use SIM cards unless you have foreign phones for different regions. Any phone from any brand will still be compatible with any network. Yeah, we still have, like, Verizon uses a different chipset. So if it's a GSM, it'll work pretty much anywhere else except on Verizon. Verizon uses a different chipset. Of course, I think they're starting to support GSM, though, if I remember correctly. Custom ROM availability, browse XDA developers. Yep. That's what you do. You gotta spend some time on XDA developers before you buy a smartphone. Bezels don't bother me, notches do. Absolutely. Yep. I am bothered by notches. I am not bothered by bezels. Real reason Huawei's being trashed in the mainstream media, it's because the company is owned by people who work there. Nobody can buy the stock, and they do nasty stuff. Yep. Smartphone to have the features like Windows 10 Mobile Continuum with the ability to connect the keyboard and mouse and monitor to turn the smartphone into a desktop. I know I can connect a keyboard. You can connect a keyboard and a mouse via Bluetooth to a phone, but a monitor would be nice. The Librem 5 phone will allow you to do all that. Oh, Kitty, don't knock my camera over. Don't knock my camera over, Kitty. Don't knock my monitor over either. Back up. Back up, cat. You're too far forward. There you go. It's by Nexus 5X and various use Motorola. My daughter rips them open, replaces the battery, tosses the OS, put Lineage on there, works well and cheap. Yep, absolutely. Dollars plus for a phone is utterly ridiculous. Yep. I like the concept of a notch mainly because you can then create the illusion of a top screen tray, items being beside the front camera and sensors and stuff. As for the topic of the video, I still use a dumb flip phone because the choices are Android equals evil or Apple equals evil. Yep. I like the Windows Phone, but man, Microsoft is the evil stepsister, you know? Price and privacy. Those are the big deals. Yep, price and privacy. There's no reason why you would upgrade. All the options are from evil companies. Yep. It's like slipping a tracking device in your pocket. Yep. You're still on a lease for a Galaxy S9 Plus. Yeah, leasing your phone. Want to take your phone on down to the grocery store and pick up some milk? Okay, just don't want the ISP to see the traffic. Okay, so if you don't want your ISP to see your personal, like the personal traffic you do out, the only option you have is to attach a VPN. So you'd need to use an external VPN company. Now, one option you would have is if you're more tech savvy, you could actually pick up like an AWS or an Azure, a DigitalOcean, SkySilk server and create a VPN on that, link everything into that. And so all your ISP would be able to see is the traffic to and fro in an AWS server. The other option is just pick up a Nord, private internet access, a Proton VPN, and using that. That's your personal computer use. Now, the problem is that your ISP wouldn't be able to see what you're doing, but the VPN provider can. That's why if you're more tech savvy and you create your own VPN, you control the VPN and your system. They can see the traffic coming and going out of your server that you have, but nothing else. You're talking though about on a server on your house, like a web server or an email server. I have no idea if it would be possible to block them from seeing that. Not sure about that one. Also, we're talking fishy, Librem. Okay. Ooh, the fishy things. If you can find that and link it, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I won't be buying a Librem right away because I just don't spend that kind of money on phones. There was an issue with one of the supply chains, so they backed it up just a couple months. But it should be out soon. No way to hide the server reasonably well, but there's no benefit doing so. You need to rent a cloud server and pull it off the first place. Yep. Only here for the kitty. All right. Well, the kitty's being cute. What are you doing, cat? A bit of a Luddite when it comes to cell phones. Yep. Cat, you're making me nervous. Leave my monitor alone. If you push my monitor off the desk, I might push you off the desk, kitty. Money tree dies all the time. Dude, stop. What are you doing? Stop. Stop doing that. First name, last name. I want to respond with requests from the outside world. Therefore, to hide the home server behind a cloud VPS and proxy, I'll request to the home server from there. Cloud server, it's behind that cloud server, the actual application. Server is at home. Cloud server just proxies all the connections to the application server. You want to hide the home server cloud behind VPS. Yeah, I have no idea on that one. First DVDs came out, the encryption was already hacked. Yes. Is that cat eating Doritos? He might be. You a Dorito eating kitty? Actually, UK did try, or not UK, the European Union is trying to pass a bill to make it illegal to customize your phone. Yep, they're trying. We covered that a little bit ago. Okay. Yeah, I burn CDs to put them onto MP3 CDs to play in the car. That's what I like to do with them. Phone is literally dead now. Yep, Windows Phone is gone. Beginning, the phones were free, but in fact, you leased it. Yep. Amazon World Server leases to the NSA, right? Like, going to use Amazon, you know. Yeah, look at Chris Titus's video about that. If you're going to be running that type of server anyway, look at Google servers. They actually will give you an AWS type platform. It actually won't cost you anything, I don't think. I think he said as long as you have a credit card on file with them. Check into that. Look at Chris Titus Tech's videos. If anybody knows what video I'm talking about, please link it. He had kind of covered a way about how you can have that type of server through a Google platform instead of AWS or Azure or anything like that. I buy a core VPS from A2 hosting because I run it with clients, and you know the type of stuff that I do on a day-to-day basis, I don't have time to sysadmin manage that type of platform without a team to help with it. And still get the rest of the work done. So I get that because cPanel is something that I can give out to my clients to manage stuff as well. So that's why I do that. But yeah, there is an option from Google as well, if you don't mind Google. Just wanted to say your RM No Preserve Root hoodie is great. Very uplifting to see Linux users dissenting. Yes, I completely dissent from that idea. That is, it's because it reeks of SJWism, and I don't want SJWism infiltrating Linux. Hiding behind the sofa, dude. Yes, you can hide behind the sofa all you want. When I had a cell phone as a trucker, it was like having a leash around my neck. Yep. Don't see a need to spend to buy... Think says there's more comments. What's that? There we go. Don't see a need to spend / buy the new Apple phone just because of the camera. Yeah. I miss the days where we carried around a separate phone and a separate camera. Our photos were organized. We actually had real backups of stuff. It worked a whole lot better than the crap we have now, you know. Maybe on Cloudflare, yeah. Okay. Give you a link to the YouTube channel. Devoted Slackware. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and feed the kitty. Then we will wrap this guy up. Oh boy, kitty. Oh boy. Hey, buddy. I don't have anything in my hand. They're all the goodies over here. There you go. Are they finger licking good? Yeah? They're finger licking good, huh? Alright, let's see. Any final wrap-up comments? And then we will jump off here. Oh, the kitty got his kitty treat, so he's like, alright, yo, I got my kitty treats. I was out of here. Oh, actually, he's just he's hanging on the side of the desk. There we are. We got a desk panther. You like my new paperweight? My new paperweight. You like it? It's so fluffy. All right. Okay. Like to see videos by Calculate by Tom and myself. Oh. Hey, liking Nextcloud. I love my Nextcloud build. My Nextcloud totally rocks. One of the videos, I think I still need to do the how to connect all your contacts and stuff to Windows 10. I don't know why. But I may as well for completeness. I mean, hey, I did one on Apple products. The other one, I think pretty soon we have to start doing the how to replace G apps with it. So that's actually going to be the complicated stuff. Yes, Nextcloud totally rocks. Cat has a good life. Kitty doesn't have to worry about surveillance and authoritarianism. No. Kitty is an addict. Yes, he is. It's like the cat forgot what his paws are for. It's one request for a video about Calculate, the two of us. You'll have to find a time that is not a weekend. Weekends, I do not have time for it. Okay. Cat is kind of Gnostic, yeah. True about the camera, but if you're serious about photography, there's nothing stopping you from getting a real camera around with you. Yep. Else, a certain advantage of being able to have a camera with you at all times, even if it's a crap camera. Yeah, there's an advantage to it. So, like, I actually started using my smartphone camera as the same way I did before. It means I go on a trip, use the phone a lot for the cameras, bring it home, plug it into the computer, pull the photos off, and then I delete the photos from the camera. Speaking of phones, I'm interested in Micro G, but having the safest issue. Did you manage to get it passed on? Wait, hold on. Speaking of phones, I'm interested in Micro G, but I keep having safety net issues. You managed to get pass on safety net thing with Micro G installed. I have no idea what you're talking about, man. Time during the week, afternoon, like 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. my time. Yeah, 3 p.m., 4 p.m. my time is a doable time. A week or two from now might be best. We'll try and communicate. Let's see if we can figure that out. So yeah, that's a decent time, my time. All right. Let's see. All right, we will go ahead and wrap this one up. So thanks for coming along, everybody. And let's see. I'll release part of these videos today, part of them tomorrow, and then we will be back Monday with a top 5. Thanks for hanging out, and we will catch you guys later.